And hello, you amazing friends. Edward's here with the amazing Steph Gobraiel. How are you today, Steph?
I'm great. How are you, Ed?
I'm really good. I got to say, I'm loving now. StreamYard has fixed up their mobile experience. I love doing live streams with you outside. I was sick of being just tied to my desk doing live streams. It feels so good doing it while I'm out and about.
Yeah, well, it changes the game, doesn't it? It just makes you more mobile, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. So realise I love live streams. I just hate sitting at my PC, but I can sit anywhere outside and talk to you all day. And I just want to say this as well. We've got kids in. Our kids have started school today. Isn't that cool, Steph?
Yay! Mine started last week, but yay!
Oh, there we go. There we go. Yeah. So what's it like? Are you like hanging out at the beach? Are you going to bars during the day? Are you going for like long drives?
In another lifetime, Ed, in another lifetime. But, the day seems like it's condensed. So now I'm trying to find a way of working smarter.
Yeah.
Because, when they're at preschool, you can keep them in a little bit longer or some of them you
can do 6 to, you can do, we're at one preschool, you can do 6 to 6 if you want. Give them a 12-hour shift if you like.
Yeah. Where now with school, they're like, we're going to put them in the office if you don't come pick them up. So I was like, okay, so I'll go pick her up. But yeah, it's just making me really assess how I'm working because I don't have that luxury of, going half an hour over anymore. So it's interesting trying to find that rhythm.
It's funny you say that actually, because again, similar position, like, kids in school during the day. But then of course, when you finish, they tend to take over the show. So that brings me to a great point. Is how do you maximize your productivity? So let's say your hour window of working's been crunched, which happens to a lot of people. How do you stay as productive as possible?
Well, the way I do it, Ed, and I know some people roll their eyes at this, but planning plays a massive role that you and I love, right?
Yeah.
But also, Ed, the other thing I do is I try to put 3 things on my list for the day. It could be big things, it could be small things. But if you focus on those 3 things first, then you can try and get through anything else. But you need to be realistic because you still need to eat. You still need to function like a human being. If you want to go out for a walk or whatever, and like the time will go like that, in school hours, as you can appreciate. By the time you sit down, somehow you're getting back up and throw a couple of meetings in there as well, Ed. And, like last week when my daughter started school, I had 3 meetings. I looked up, it was lunchtime. I'm like, okay, had a quick bite. And then I was like, right, what am I going to do in the next hour and a half that I have to maximize my time before I go to pick up? So it's a juggle.
There we go. And we've got Portia Franklin with us, one of our old friends. Portia, haven't seen you in years. Welcome, Portia. She says, great topic. Well, we think you're a great and wonderful person. So if you just come in, like, share, comment, say hello. Not all your comments do come through, but I'll show you a great comment. So everyone connect with Portia. So this brings me to the next key point, time wasting, right? We all know what time wasting is. And I've been doing a lot of work on my own business and life to really optimize what I'm doing. Where am I blowing time? Where should I focus my time? You know what my results have been of that whole experience, amazing Steph?
What's that, Ed?
Focusing on the right people. And I want to bring up this topic, focusing on the right people. So one criticism you can easily throw at me that I'll gladly accept was for a while there I was spending too much time focusing on the wrong people. And I find it's very important that we focus on the right people. What do you think of this whole topic? And tell us your thoughts on it, amazing Steph.
I agree, Ed. I think with some people you have synergy and with others you don't, and you can't create it if it's not there. So it's not worth, trying to put up this fight to get to a place that you'll probably never get to. So being conscious of, who you have that synergy with is so important. Otherwise you'll just keep doing what you're doing, right?
Yeah, and Portia left a smiley face. We love you, Portia. And I just discovered this feature. Isn't this a great feature of StreamYard? I just worked out how to do all the stuff. For some reason, StreamYard actually works better on mobile phone. I never thought I'd say that to you, Steph.
Well, they've got to up their game, right? Because I'm sure another one's coming real soon, Ed.
Now, if anyone from StreamYard is listening, we love you, but please create a mobile app. Please give us a really good mobile app. Anyway, Yeah, it's funny you say all that, actually, and I couldn't agree with you more. It's one of the biggest things that I've really found is, and I'm going to say this, you can't work harder. We're all working as hard as we can. What I find is, I love what you said earlier, that was so important. You've got to pick your battles very carefully. And I find planning is very important. So, for example, today, my focus today has been working on Melbourne. I'm off to Melbourne on Friday to run our business networking meetup. My focus today is A, help my son get started in school, but B, focus on Melbourne. I think you're really right. What I love doing is, I love to hear your thoughts on this one. The day before, I love to think about one or two things I'm going to focus on the next day. Tell us what you think about that topic, Steph, and give us a good unpack.
Sure. So I think that's a great idea, Ed. So I always review the next day, the night before, because one, you need to understand what's going on. Do you have meetings? Do you have something that you've committed to? Number one. Number two, if you don't, then how are you going to use that time? What is the priority at the moment in your business that needs your attention to really get ahead as well, right? Like, I'm not saying client work isn't important, but your business, the work you do on your business, is just as important.
Yeah. It's funny,
and if you come into the day, Ed, sorry, one last thing. And if you come into the day and you haven't prepared and you haven't planned, that's when you're going to faff about. That's when you're going to, just procrastinate. You're going to go look at things and you're going to do this and that. But by doing it the night before, you know exactly what you need to focus on. And if something happens overnight, that's fine. You can pivot, but at least you have a plan that a starting off plan for the day.
Yeah, and I think that's a big problem. I find a lot with, and I love entrepreneurs and small business owners. They're our bread and butter, great people. However, I find a lot of small business owners and entrepreneurs, they don't. And this is the contradiction I find when they're at work. When they used to be, let's say they're ex-corporates gone into business, right? You know what I'm talking about. When they're at work, they plan like lunatics, and when they're in business for themselves, they sort of leave it up to the gods on which way to go. And I've noticed that a lot of business owners, they totally undo themselves by not planning. And this is all I suggest, right? This is what I do personally. I spend literally 3 to 4 minutes a day, 3 to 4 minutes a day, or in a more German way, 3 to 4 minutes a day. I can't do it. I spend 3 to 4 minutes a day just literally just saying, what am I going to do the next day? Oh, I better do this tomorrow. And I find most people don't do that. It's pretty scary, isn't it, Steph?
It is. And look, not everyone comes from that sort of position where they have to plan. You see, my nature is to plan. I was an executive assistant. I had to be ahead of the GMs. You couldn't be behind, otherwise you wouldn't be in a role. So I had to stay ahead of them. And, the peak of that is planning, right? That is the soul of what I did. And that's the thing. Not everyone has that, has that element to their role. So that's why some people probably aren't as good in planning. But as you said, they can come to you, they can come to me, they can go to somebody for help if they need it as well.
Yeah, I love it.
Because
I want to go to, sorry. Please.
Sorry, I was just going to say, the idea is to create a habit. If we can create this as a habit, okay, we then are in a position where we're going to be doing it on an unconscious level, right? So that is the importance of habits. And that's what I help clients do. I help them establish habits. So then, by the time we're in this rhythm, they start to feel it, and then they can do it on their own. So really trying to establish that habit will help.
There you go. A healthy habit, one would say, isn't it, Steph?
Absolutely.
There we go. Now, I'm a bit of a funny mood today, so I just feel like bashing toxic people just for the heck of it, right? Can I tell you what happened to me this morning, right?
Mm-hmm.
So something funny, right? I ended up kicking her out of our meetup and blocked her. What was funny, actually, is we got our Melbourne meetup on Friday, so I was working our Melbourne meetup this morning. A lot of messaging, right? Basically, hey, see you Friday, see you Friday, see you Friday. And this lady, absolute lunatic, booked into our meetup on Friday, and I sent her a message saying, hey, thank you for booking into our meetup on Friday. I'll see you there. And then she abused me for messaging her. Tell me, Steph, what am I supposed to do?
You've obviously caught her at a really bad timing, or she misread your message. I think one of those two things. Or she's a toxic person.
I think the third one is 99.99% likely to be true, the third option you presented. And it's funny, I've been abused by so many toxic people over the years. Like, even 6 months ago, it would have affected me. It would have made me feel down. Now I'm like, another one. It's like, felt like I was spraying a cockroach. Like there was no actual reaction to it, right? It's like, there's another one. Right? And you pick up the body in the bin. To be honest with you, we live in a part of Sydney. It's cockroach season. There's roaches everywhere, right? Doesn't matter how much money you've got, the roaches will charge into your house and steal your furniture, right? Anyway, I've been spraying all the roaches. But what was funny though is I actually thought of you, not in a toxic way, but I thought I'm going to talk about this when I see Steph today, right? We love you, Portia. Portia said, lol, we love you, Portia. But it was just really weird. It was just like, you booked into my event. I sent you a friendly I wasn't trying to sell her shit. I'm just like, oh, hey, see you on Friday.
Yeah.
How dare you message me, you stupid, Arab, horrible, misogynistic male, or whatever, right? She must have been she was clearly a racist too. I bet she was a racist. And it was just nuts. Why are some people just so nutty, Steph? What are some of your theories for why some people are so woo?
Again, I think I don't know. There are people like that out there. And I think, Ed, the amount of people that you message, there's probably one in every 10 or every 20 or whatever the statistic is.
I reckon 1 in 200.
Them because you message people in volume, right?
Yeah.
So I'm they're bound to be there.
Yeah, and my favourite one was last week. I mentioned this actually you weren't there, but I mentioned this on one of our Zooms. I'm no kidding, right? Now, some context. I've known this guy for a few years. He's been to a few of our meetups, right? So I've known this guy. So I got a bit of a relationship with this guy.
Yeah.
I wish him a happy birthday, right? I wish him a happy birthday. I said, hey, person I'm about to unfriend. Love to wish you a happy birthday. Hope you well and love your work. And then I said, love your work. And I do. He does it really good. Despite him being a toxic lunatic, he actually does do a good job professionally. At least he used to. And I sent him this voice message wishing him a happy birthday. It was over Facebook. Of course, it was over Facebook. And he sent me this long message, right? This long, right? Basically a whole mobile phone screen, right? Basically saying, hey, you don't know my work. You're so insincere and fake and all this sort of thing. And it was just nuts. I literally sent the guy an 8-second voice message saying, hey, happy birthday. Love your work. I'm great one. And it was fascinating. He just sent me a whole, and I've never had a problem with this guy. He just sent me a whole screen full of abuse. Now, I've got my thoughts on why he's like that. Why do you think he's like that? What are some of your theories?
I don't know, Ed. I think it comes down to this, because you message on such high volume of people, you're bound to get them. Like, I don't know. We got to look up the statistic, Ed. Right? Like, is it 1 in 10, 1 in 20? Because you keep, having that touch point with them.
I believe it's 1 in 100. So this is a good thing about society, and I say this positively. I believe out of 100 people, one's really bad. I think most people are pretty good, but you get the 1 out of 100 murderer/lunatic. That's what I think.
Well, you see, Ed, if I came across someone like that, I'd unfriend them, block them, and that's it.
But I'll tell you why I thought that, right? And this is a few days later. It just occurred to me, right? Boom, just idea came. I'll tell you why I thought that, right? The thing that triggered them into doing a Edward Zera's a stupid jerk face message, right? The thing that triggered them was I said, love your work. That's what triggered them. So what I believe was going on in their little hamster wheel of a brain was that they're not confident in their own work.
That's right. And they're projecting. Yes.
Yep. They feel like, hang on, like I bet you maybe the day before someone said, you suck, give me whatever, right? They probably got abused by a client. And so in their mind, they feel like they're not doing a very good job. And when I came in, it's, happy birthday. Yeah. Oh, Ed, you should jump off a bridge and kill yourself, unalive yourself, right? I reckon that was it. I reckon they didn't believe in their own work. And just that simple off-the-hand compliment was like popping them a balloon. I can tell you agree with those head nods.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're right on the money, Ed. I think when people aren't happy with something within themselves, they project it. And unfortunately, you were in the crossfire. By saying, but imagine that, just by saying love your work, if it was so much to have triggered him to that degree, can you imagine how unhappy he must be? I mean, do you know what I mean?
And what makes it funnier, this guy's a coach helping people.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it just adds to another layer of hypocrisy, right? That guy's an absolute lunatic, right? It's funny, actually. One of our really good friends actually knows the guy, and I actually spoke to him, and he said to me, "Oh yeah, that guy's always been a bit of a lunatic." So there you go. And just a quick, we've got Felisa Moffat with us watching on Facebook. Felisa Moffat, we love you. Big wave to Felisa Moffat. There we go. That's what Felisa Moffat said. We love you, Felisa Moffat. There we go. Do you think Felisa Moffat's awesome, Steph? Because I think Felisa Moffat's awesome, Steph.
Oh yeah, she is, and I didn't know she was so talented. She's a talented singer, right? I heard her sing, and I was like, oh, she's so beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, she's scary. She's basically female Keanu Reeves. She can sing, she can dance, she can do property, and there you go. She's a very powerful character. So big wave to Felisa Moffat. We love you. Do you love? I tell you, what, you love this new feature I discovered. It's pretty cool, isn't it?
That is really cool. Look at them upping their game, Ed.
There you go. It's just so StreamYard, we love you, but please get a mobile app. Come on, StreamYard. If someone from Microsoft or StreamYard is listening, please get a mobile app for us. Now, Steph, we've crossed the amazing chasm of 15 minutes. Going from Portia to Portia says, people lol, it's great to learn how to put difficult people in the right context. It's a skill. We love you, Portia. And Bo, if you just come in, like, share, comment, connect with Portia, Felicia, and our friends. In finishing up, Steph, I'd love to hear any of your closing thoughts and reactions from what we talked about today. Anything you want to say, we'd love to hear it, Steph.
Yeah, just I think planning, even the night before, as we mentioned before, Ed, is really crucial to help you focus. And it doesn't need to be a whole A4 page of things you need to do. It could be just 3 to 5 things. Focus on them and see how you go. And there's always tomorrow, right? There's always tomorrow. So the work's going to be there for you if you don't get through it all. So just be kind to yourself. And if you need to do something for you, do it. If that's the trouble with getting started, then do something for you. So when you get back, you're pumped, you're ready to go, and you hit the ground running, because that's also going to help your concentration. That's it, Ed.
Oh my God, love your work. And Felisa also says Steph Gobraiel and Edwards ear rocks. And I think Felisa, do you think the same thing about Felisa, Steph? Because I most certainly do.
Absolutely. I reckon if we go to the same network event, I think we might be dancing and singing together, Ed.
I won't be. I dance like I've got 2 left feet, which is very good. Now I was just going to say,
I'd love
Steph,
to see.
No, not going to happen. Before we finish up, Steph, can you tell us professionally, about professionally how you help people? If you are watching, friends, connect with Steph. Steph, how do you help people and what's the deal?
I'm a business manager, and I'm actually in the process of creating a membership. It's all about accountability, setting goals, and community. So that's one part of my business. The other part is I look at people's business with the big picture, see what they're doing, see what they're not doing, and how I can put them back on track to really grow their business. So there's a few things happening, and yeah, that's it in a nutshell. And connect with me on LinkedIn.
Oh, there we go. So you've heard it from Steph Gobraiel. Steph, love your work. And wasn't Sydney nuts on Friday? Wasn't that meetup just too over the top?
It was great. It was buzzing, and it was great to see new faces and familiar faces, and yeah, it was absolutely great. And it just kept going. Like, I left at 5 and it was still going. So yeah.
So we've now turned into a business chamber. There we go. We've now got our own business chamber, which is funny. But as I say, Steph, thank you so much for your time. To anyone watching, like, share, comment, connect with Steph and I. Steph, I know you're a busy lady. Thank you so much for your time as always.
Thank you, Ed. Have a great afternoon.
Love your work. See you, everyone. Stay awesome.